Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, welcome to the new video about Chopin Mazurkas. Today I want to talk about Mazurka Opus 6 number 2. This Mazurka starts with the introduction, and this introduction is like as if we imagine that we are in the theater, and at the theater at the beginning we have the stage, but we don't see anything, right? We are sitting and waiting, and then suddenly when it opens, everything opens, and then we are into the story. And this is exactly what happens here. Chopin opens up the stage for us, and suddenly we are, where are we? Just listen. Where are we? We are in Poland. We are in the Polish countryside. Fields and trees and small little houses and farmers and cows, horses, chickens, pigs, and everything. And what we hear at least 3 people playing the music. Here we have very folk, very typical for the folk group. It's like the double bass, which they are playing with one hand, because they are playing only on strings. They don't need to use the left hand, so they can play with one hand. And this even I can play. I don't really play double bass, but I can play all night, and you can even dance for that. You have one hand free, you can drink something during playing, you can eat something, you can do all night for the wedding party or so. And to this we have on the right hand another. And with this very characteristic accent on 2. Pam, pum, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, right? Very, very Polish. 2, 3, 3. And then in the middle voice, and this is the challenge, the first challenge here. In the middle voice we have the melody which we actually hear. So what I showed you now is the background of this stage, the scene. But there is somebody sitting or singing or playing violin. And listen to this melody, how fantastically written it is. It's exactly the imitation of a folk musician. Folk musician who is playing whatever his soul is telling him. In this case we have how many notes? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 notes. 5 and 6. 6 notes only is using. And how unpredictable this melody is. Just listen. This is okay. And now it's the same notes but different rhythm. And again. And this is the first phrase. The second phrase should be the same. If it's, for example, ballad, ballad number 1. Melody. The same. And the same. Yes, so it's the same. It doesn't have to be different, because it's the story, the romantic story. Here we have the folk, so we have improvisation. We have they cannot play the same all the time. So here we have no 2 same phrases. Different. 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 Everything is always different, but only what is the same is this, always. So the group, the folk group. And here Chopin writes the legato in the middle voice. Legato means to connect notes together. So we need to do it very, very precisely, because it's not so easy to play legato on the piano. It's very easy to play legato on the string instrument or on the brass instrument. But on the piano, no, because we have separate strings which we hit with the hammers. But this is not legato. So I can try to do legato in the middle voice, and this not legato. It's not so easy, but well, need to practice. Yes, and this is the beginning, the stage in the theater, and then somebody is coming. Who is coming? Who is coming? A beautiful girl is coming. She's wearing some kind of folk, full of colors, dress. And she is coming and is walking, or maybe a little dancing, but more walking, or maybe singing. Oh, what a beautiful day. Oh, I feel so happy. And then suddenly Chopin writes forte con forza, so with force. And this is a shock, this is a true shock for the listener. Well, here, what can we do? What can we think? Our imagination. For example, this girl, I don't know, maybe she saw her boyfriend who is drunk, and suddenly she gets angry. Well, you know, that's a Polish countryside, so you never know. Maybe. Or, of course, this is kind of imitating the Polish dance. The Polish dance usually, the Mazur, for example, it usually ends with force, because that's how we are dancing that. But anyway, this is a shock, and Chopin exactly wanted this to happen, especially for somebody who doesn't know the piece. But definitely, for me as a pianist, it's a challenge to make this melody as charming, as soft, as well, romantic and beautiful as possible. And the rhythm of the left hand here, again we have the Mazurka rhythm, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But where to do it? On the first bar? Or on the second bar? I personally think, well, everything is good, but the pianist has to decide. But definitely it has to be done somewhere. I personally think it's better to, on the first bar, because in the second phrase, the second time, Chopin writes himself he wants on the first bar with the accent. So it's good to do the same. And then we have the same at the end. So that's the challenge for this. And then we have the second phrase, which this girl starts to dance. This is a very typical Polish Mazur dance. And we come back to the beginning. Look how simple phrase it is. We have 2 times the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 notes. 2 times the same, but the rhythm again is different. Tam ta tam pa pam. First time. Tam ta 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 tam. Second time. So, and then we have the answer. Second time, but different. And this simplicity is so charming. At the same time, we have leggero written, so it means it has to be very light. How to make it light? First of all, using the touch, the light touch. also we can do something with the pedal. We can take a less pedal to make it more light. But anyway, it must sound very light and very dance-like. And again. And then here, suddenly, we don't have piano like before. We have forte. So another surprise, because everybody expects it to be and then like before, but it's not. It's not. It is forte immediately. So that's another genius thing in this mazurka. And then we have my favorite part of this mazurka. This is so beautiful. Suddenly we have kujawiak, which is the slow dance. And just listen, this for me it sounds like Chopin opens his soul for us. And two more. Even more. And then beginning. Again, they are playing. So beautiful this moment is. How do we know that it's kujawiak? As I said in another video about Mazurka number 1, kujawiak is the waving way of dancing and the waving way of creating the melody. So here we have a typical way. We go up and down. So right and left. And again the same thing that before, the same melody, the same notes, but the rhythm is different. And then another phrase, like the answer. And then the same thing, but forte, which means loud, which means that Chopin opens, he opens, changing the color, everything, all the best he has inside. And then the beginning. So that's more or less the Mazurka number 2, which when Chopin published this first opus, this mazurka was even more popular than number 1. Everybody loved it, and well, I think it's still very charming for us. There is a lot of Poland in it. Even though Chopin probably wrote this mazurka while he was still in Poland, he was not abroad. He didn't yet miss his country. Thank you very much for listening, and see you again in the next video. Bye bye.